It is a chilling scenario. 2 teens, one in Manitoba, the other in Nova Scotia, taken into custody, accused of planning simultaneous attacks on schools in their communities. Police allege that the pair had been talking about those plans online since early this year. In a moment, we'll get some analysis from a criminologist who's a former police officer. But first, let's check in with Mira Baines, and let's start with what we know about the Nova Scotia suspect, Mira.
Yeah, that suspect is a 15-year-old from this community, Bridgewater, Nova Scotia, and was arrested on Tuesday. It's a community of roughly 10,000 people, and police allege the plan was to murder multiple students at Parkview Education Center. That's a high school of about 900 students. And while the planning, they say, wasn't imminent, the weapon wasn't even clearly laid out yet. But still, it's a big shock for the community. The mayor of Bridgewater says he's shaken and he thanks police.
This is obviously a very serious incident, very concerning. Everyone is reacting with the same level of extreme concern. But coming after Tumbler Ridge, it becomes that much more real. And so everyone's basically just questioning how we got to this point.
And there have been a number of charges that this teen is facing. They include conspiracy to commit murder, uttering threats to cause death. And the teen is also being investigated for hate crime offenses. And so they said that there could be more charges to come. And Bridgewater police also gave a few more details about what they found when they executed searches. And they found imitation weapons, an imitation pipe bomb, imitation assault rifle, and clothing with hate symbols, but they didn't say what kind of hate symbols. This is Deputy Chief of the Bridgewater Police.
In between the online chat and the chatter between the two individuals, they've been talking about it for a period of time. And there's actually some documentation that we were able to find in our search yesterday. There was handwritten notes and mapping made out of the school that we located through our search yesterday. And then, of course, we've seized multiple electronic devices.
You know, there's still a lot of basic things that we don't know about these two cases. For example, in Bridgewater, the imitation weapons, it's sort of hard, and I asked the mayor about this last hour, if this was a plot where they believed that a credible plot to murder kids, how do imitation weapons fit into that? But the mayor says that maybe they were going to be replaced by real weapons later on. He doesn't know the details of that. So that's Nova Scotia. Let's talk about the teen who was arrested in Manitoba.
Yeah, and this is a very unusual arrest. The 14-year-old is from Rivers, Manitoba, and that's a community of about 1,000 people. It's about half an hour outside Brandon, Manitoba. And the teen was arrested during a traffic stop while they were on their way to school. And local police were actually alerted by Interpol and FBI about some of these threats last Friday. And so this teen was arrested Monday. And this is what RCMP in Manitoba had to say about why the teen was arrested off a school bus.
It was the safest way for us to take him in custody prior to him attending school. We had received information prior that he was already on the school bus. We wish we could have arrested him at his residence, but that didn't happen. So arresting him on the school bus was the safest and quickest way to put him in custody.
The Manitoba teen is accused of talking online about an attack at Rivers Collegiate, and that's a school of about 141 students ranging from grades 7 to 12. And so this public arrest happened about 2 days ago, so there's been a lot of speculation in the community about what's happening, a lot of rumors, especially in light of that mass shooting in Tumbler Ridge. We spoke to some grade 11 students, and this is what they had to say.
There was a lot of different stories going on over the last couple days, and the principal talked to us the other day, and there was like 8 different rumors going on, so it was hard to believe which one was right until it actually got told what was going on. Definitely worries me now that I know things like that could happen in such a small community.
It's just kind of like a surprise. You know, it's usually everyone here, and it's a pretty close community, I'd say. So like, I feel like it's kind of hard for people to think like that.
So the RCMP in Manitoba arresting the teen there, the municipal police force in Bridgewater doing the same in their community. But as you pointed out, it was U.S. law enforcement where the key information came from.
That's right. So police in Bridgewater and also the RCMP credit the FBI and Interpol of tipping them off and helping them intervene before anything could escalate. And we spoke to one expert in Canada who says it's not surprising that U.S. authorities were on top of it.
It's not surprising that you'd see this kind of assistance coming from, for example, the United States, because they have 10 times as many people doing the work as we do. It's pretty tough, especially in smaller communities, to find a bunch of people who feel the same way you do or think about the same things or having the same kind of thoughts if they're dark. But if you get online, it's pretty easy to find 1,000 other people.
And Ian, he says that about 90% of these types of cases are thwarted before they even make it out into the public domain.
Okay, Mira, thank you very much. Let's get some more analysis on this with Michael Artfield. He's a criminology prof at Western University in London, Ontario, and a former police detective. And Michael, let's begin with your thoughts about what we know, which is not a lot, but what we know about this planned attack.
Well, obviously, Ian, the investigation is still in its adolescence. I mean, we know that based on what they're publicly releasing. But I'll echo the opinion of your last expert, which is that I'm not surprised at all that this information came from a external peer agency. I can think of another case about 10 years ago in Ontario where they alerted the RCMP, the FBI, that is, that someone was on their way to commit a suicide bombing after posting a ISIS video to the internet, and he was shot and killed getting into a cab with a nail bomb in a backpack. And Canadian law enforcement was absolutely clueless that this was about to go down. So this is the second instance I can think of just in the last decade where a potential mass casualty event has been thwarted as a result of partner agencies, which raises questions about the intelligence apparatuses in Canada. And that, I think, is a bigger long-term story, quite frankly.
There is, as we've both said, a lot that we don't know about this case, but I want to draw on your experience as both someone who's studied criminology and also who's been a police officer. We are about, I think, maybe 40 days past the terrible school shooting in Tumbler Ridge, British Columbia. Do you think there may be a copycat element here?
It's very difficult, and there's a shortage of peer-reviewed public studies, at least, confirming a contagion effect or a copycat effect. But at least anecdotally and among law enforcement circles, there is certainly the informed speculation that high-profile mass shootings lead to a cluster of similar shootings in similar threat environment. So if it's a school shooting, you'll see another school shooting. If it's a religious-related mass shooting, you'll see, again, a copycat effect. Very difficult to quantify scientifically, but at least we have to consider that some of these people draw inspiration, unfortunately, on previous incidents of a similar nature.
And they also may draw support and inspiration, if that's the word, when they contact like-minded people. And it appears here that you've got a kid in Nova Scotia and a kid in Manitoba who connect via the internet. That may be where and how the U.S. authorities caught wind of this alleged plot. How concerning is that the internet now, clearly can create refuges for people who want to do things like this?
Well, I'll be clear on this. Obviously, online radicalization of any individual is not a new thing. This is not unique to this case. What is unique is apparently, and again, we don't know all the details, but this synchronized dyadic planned attack. Well, by dyadic, I mean bars teen accounts from sexually suggestive environments. Two or more places at the same time. This coordinated type of attack, I don't know of in Canada previously. So the fact that in 2 different time zones, 2 different individuals, like-minded individuals, who appear to be adherents to no particular cause. So again, years ago, they talked about salad bar extremists who would just pick and choose their causes. Now there is no cause. These are people apparently intent on mayhem. And when they find each other, this additional development, this additional layer of the dyadic attack as planned is extremely concerning, because now you're dealing with, from a law enforcement perspective, multiple fronts to be dealing with a potential mass casualty event simultaneously.
Yeah. I guess if there's a good thing in all of this, is that because the 2 are in contact, that contact may have been the very reason why this plot was thwarted before it could actually come into effect. Michael Artfield in London, Ontario, thank you very much.
Thanks, Ian.